host, Rachel Abassi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And today I wanted to talk about letting go of self-will, a little bit more about bondage of self and what that means to me. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. So this idea, I talked about it a couple days ago about bondage of self and what that means. Like for me, it's just like it's almost like I've mentally cut out the entire world and that self-talk that is always chattering in my head is just echoing. And no matter what anybody says to me, I am not listening. I can say that I'm listening, but I'm freaking not listening. You know, I'm going to do what I want when I want. And what it is for me is being stubborn. And when I can practice enough, I guess, humility to admit that I'm being stubborn, then I can invite back in that the principles of the program, like the ability to change, the willingness, all of that good stuff. So in step 5 of the program, we admit our character defects to another human being and our higher power, if we so choose, I guess, if we have one or whatever, you know. But being able to say it out loud to another person, for me, and I feel like I just talked about this the other day, like was the absolute greatest shift in my mental state. Being able to talk about that stubbornness. And it wasn't like the conversation was not one of like blame or feeling like I'm less than or anything like that. It was really just admitting. That's it. It was just admitting that I am resisting change. And because I'm resisting change, that means that I'm resisting improvement. So breaking out of that isolation and talking to another human being invites in accountability for my behavior. And, you know, it does feel like that. It does feel like, for me, it did feel a bit like humiliating rather than humility. And I think in early sobriety, I was really challenged with um, understanding what humility really is, because whenever I heard the word humility, I just kept thinking of humiliation, because that was what I was used to. That's what made sense to me. I didn't know what humble was because I had never practiced being humble. And I can look up the definition, but it requires work to get to the point of humility for me. Like accepting what I can and what I can't do, accepting limitations without feeling shameful about it. That's difficult. I always wanted to be the best. I always wanted to be smartest. And that doesn't mean that I don't have that character defect still. Part of it I feel is not a defect, and that's part of the problem. I feel like that desire to be the best and to be the smartest is what pushes me, like motivates me. So it's though deciphering between having it motivate me and having it block me from connecting with other people, because that's when I become intolerant, you know? So being able to be like, in getting humble gives me the opportunity to get better. Um, if I'm not humble, I can't see that I can be better. Otherwise, I think that I'm the best version of me that I'm ever going to be. And that, when I say it out loud, that sounds ridiculous, but that's what that stubbornness really is saying, is like, I'm the best version of me that I'm ever going to be. And that version is way better than your version. And that is so ridiculous. That's what stubbornness is. And it's funny to say it out loud like that because that's what really makes sense to me. So, there is an incredible amount of freedom when I'm able to look at what I felt like in the beginning was weakness. It's not weakness, it's opportunity to change. It's like, where can I fill in the gaps of my character, right? And become a better version of me. There is so much freedom in surrendering to a higher power, that there is something greater than me. There is a community wisdom that I am willing to listen to. I don't have to do things alone. I do it together now. Yes, I'm still stubborn. Yes, I still decide that um, I'm not going to call my sponsor because, well, I'll just figure it out on my own. Like, because I get comfortable, I'm so comfortable with isolation and not talking that it will so easily bring me back to that place of that echoing self-talk that tells me you're the best version of you that you can be. And sometimes, that self-talk is actually saying the opposite. You are the worst version and you're never going to get better. That's what a lot of my self-talk can say. I don't hear that. I don't think as much now that I'm sober, but I think it's there. It's still there, and I need to do the work in order to make sure that that's not echoing in my head as well. Um, I feel like I've talked about the pickle jar thing a couple years ago, but it came to mind when I was sharing this morning in my meeting, and it felt like I had never said it before. And because I feel like it really makes sense, this pickle jar analogy. But then after I finished sharing, I was like, wait a minute. I remember having a podcast episode with a pickle jar on the front of it. So I must have talked about the pickle jar before. So, when you're opening a pickle jar and you can't open it and you're straining so hard and like you're grabbing the grippy thing and you're like, and you can't get the pickle jar open. Well, while you are straining to get the pickle jar open and you're trying to get the pickle jar open, it is difficult to ask for help in the midst of trying to turn that lid on the jar, right? Well, that's what gripping tightly onto life, onto the things that I want to control that I can't. That's exactly what it's like for me. It's like I'm holding on so tightly to that which I can't change because I'm trying to change it. And when I try so hard and I'm gripping so tightly, I'm using all my energy to do that, that I can't ask for help. Um, and that's the only way I'm going to get the pickle jar open, is to ask for help. I cannot open the pickle jar on my own. And in order for me to become the best version of me that I can be, I can't find all of that wisdom inside of me. I get to use wisdom from the community. I get to quiet down the echoing self-talk and hear what my higher power has to tell me, or the people in my meetings, my family, my friends. Like, I can't listen and ask for help. I can't listen to help. I can't accept help. I can't ask for help if I'm just straining to get the pickle jar open. So, there is a newfound freedom in being able to just let go and hand the pickle jar to somebody else and ask for them to open it. And there's lots of good pickles inside. Otherwise, you don't get it. You don't get the pickles. So I am going to continue to practice openness and humility today. And I hope that you give that a shot too. And thanks for listening. I will talk to you tomorrow.